All right, so I'm going to adjust our monitor a little bit lower here. So now moving on to an unconscious infant. So just like we set up with CPR, other scenarios, okay, we're going to utilize a table with this scenario, so something that has some support, but it could be on the ground, it could be on a table, no matter where, it could be multiple different spots. Because of the size of the child, okay, or the infant, I should say, okay, we could utilize a table or some type of added support. So you come into the room, you find a child unconscious. Check the scene, check the victim. Instead of tapping on the shoulders, we're now going to tap on the bottom of their feet. Are you okay? Are you okay? Infant is unconscious. Somebody call 911, get an AED. We need to find out if the child is breathing. So we still do our head tilt, chin lift, look, listen, and feel for 5 to 10 seconds. We find out that the infant is not breathing. We're going to go right into compressions. Now, here you go again with 2 fingers right at the center of the breastbone, pressing straight down, so making your fingers straight up and down, keeping your top hand on the forehead. 30 compressions, okay, inch and a half. Your rate of compressions is still 100 to 120 per minute, okay, so everything else is still the same. It's still the same ratio, 30 and 2, okay, all the time frames. So you're doing your 30 compressions, 27, 28, 29, 30. Now, our next difference when we do our rescue breaths, you are going to put your mouth over the entire mouth and nose of the infant to create that tight seal. As a child or an adult, you needed to pinch the nose. Here, we're going to create the tight seal with your mouth directly over their entire mouth and nose. This is going to ensure that the breath goes into the lungs, okay, and doesn't come back out through the sinus cavity. So you do your one breath, the breath doesn't go in, readjust, do your second breath, okay? If the second breath does go in, we're in regular CPR, we're doing our 30 compressions and our 2 breaths. If the second breath doesn't go in, we now have a blocked airway scenario. So now we go into our 30 compressions, check inside the mouth, remove the object using a pinky to try to remove the object, okay, because of the size of the mouth of the infant, a lot smaller than a child, a lot smaller than an adult. So we're just going to use our pinky to try to get that object out. If the object cannot be removed, do your second set of breaths, go back to your 30 compressions. So it's the same scenario now. 30 compressions, check the mouth, 2 breaths. That's for your blocked airway CPR. One last thing, the head, okay? You don't have to tilt the head really far back, okay, for an infant. It's actually recommended to keep the head at neutral when you're doing the rescue breaths. The airway will be open for an infant. For a child, it's a little bit past neutral. For an adult, it's past neutral. Okay, so those are some added features that I forgot to mention for the child scenario. All right. So the third video that we're going to have in place is going to actually now be your skills test. Everybody is getting tested on the conscious choking infant. So that is one scenario that you will be tested on. The second scenario is going to be one of the scenarios of CPR, be it regular CPR or blocked airway CPR. Now, just remember with blocked airway CPR, it could be that you walk in and find the child not breathing and the breaths don't go in, or that the baby goes unconscious in your arms and you have to place the baby down and do your blocked airway CPR. So that'll be video number 3. Okay, I will put that video out the next day. Take time, go over these, practice them, use the videos. Okay, I'll also post the American Red Cross video. Okay, and then we will have our skills test on the infant one coming up soon. All right, hope everybody is well. Be good. High five on the way out. See ya.